All right, we're live.
And hello, everyone. My name is Philbuster Fox, and today I will be doing some casting with Lunette the Herald. Say hello, Lunette.
Hi, Lunette.
And there we are. And today there's going to be a special challenge in this casting. I had LASIK this morning, so I'm not allowed to look at my computer screen. So this entire match I will be blind casting. That's right. I have to try and determine what is going on based on the game sounds I hear and what Lunette is casting alongside me. So we're going to see how this goes.
All right, I just have to find a game for us to get into that isn't like 10 minutes in, which is all the featured games are like that. So let's see if I can find anybody on my friends list that isn't a total scrub.
All right. So while she's looking for that, I'd just like to point out, if for anyone curious, my surgery went quite well. I am going to be having a bit of a convalescence period while I recover, which is not supposed to include the use of my computer, but you know, the important thing is that I'm closing my eyes and not looking at it as opposed to, you know, just having it off. Doctor won't care about that.
It could be worse. You could be trying to actually cast this, but then again, this is more amusing.
Well, this will be hopefully very amusing. I'll do my best to make it good, but we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, this is gonna be an interesting one. Let's see if we can find anybody in here that is actually doing. Ooh, Carey plays smart. Oh, he's spectating a game. Jana, Caitlin. Ooh, we can go ahead and spectate you. And hopefully this game hasn't been going on too long. The client says like 60 some odd minutes, but the client lies. Alright. Dice says, how many fingers am I holding up?
2. I'm in your ceiling watching you.
Good prediction, good prediction. So, getting into this game, it looks like we're looking at a high game with some diamond, plat, and gold players across the board for everybody. The team comps right now for the blue team are Jana and Ezreal down in the bot lane, Nunu jungle, mid Morgana, and a Malphite top. They're up against an Anivia mid, a Trundle jungle, a Shen in top lane, and a Nami and Kate in the bot lane. You got that?
Ezreal and who down in the bot? Ezreal,
Jana.
Gianna against Nami and Caitlyn, was it?
Correct.
And in the jungles, it's Trundle versus Nunu.
Yes.
And in the top, it's Shen versus Malphite.
Yep.
And mid, Anivia versus... I forgot that
Morgana.
one. Morgana, okay.
There we
I
go.
am not going to remember that, so be prepared for anything. I hear pinging on the map. Have you loaded in yet?
Yes, we are only 2 minutes into the game, and we are getting just into the beginning jungle routes.
Okay, so what I expect to see, Nunu is a very strong counter jungler due to this his nomming ability, Consume. That's the one. He's very good jungler due to his ability to Consume. He can get in there, Smite and Consume will quickly clear off minions. Does it look like either of these teams is looking to set up for a counter invade or anything like that, or are they just going through their regular routes?
No, we're almost 3 minutes into the game. Nobody's decided to counter jungle or anything like that. Nunu just went ahead and went to his blue, and he's heading out to Wraiths right now. It's really amusing knowing you can't see any of this, and the temptation to troll you is very high.
It's incredibly high, I am sure. Now, up in the top lane, we've got the Malphite up against the Shen there. Malphite is quite the bully in lane. Shen, not really the strongest of 1v1 laners. It's his map presence that comes into great effect. And I'd like to see Malphite try to bully a bit early and see if he can push the Shen back, try and zone him out a little there using his Q as much as possible, and a shield just to ensure that the trade's really go into his favor, and maybe get a little bit of jungler assistance up in the top from
Unfortunately, just the
Nunu.
opposite is happening because the taunt has gone off and Malphite is extremely low. Shen sitting there with that Ignite has got a level on Malphite right now and is bullying the hell out of him in top lane.
Oh my, that is just death for this Malphite. If Shen gets ahead and stays ahead in this lane, he's going to be a dominant global presence, and Malphite is going to really fall behind. His own is always going to be useful in team fights, but I hear some traps going off, it sounds like. But,
Yeah, Jana going ahead and popping those traps in the bot lane. Went ahead and took that vision of Pink Ward in the forward brush down there.
in the forward brush towards the
Towards the enemy team, yes.
Okay. So how are the river wards looking for the bot lane?
Right now, the blue team has 1 ward at Dragon. The red team, a lack of warding. The blue team went ahead and took those double golems down in the bot lane. And in the top lane, it looks like we've got a gank. Malphite not going to be able to do much here, despite the fact that Nunu's coming in with a snowball. Malphite now trying to come and assist, but he has no mana to do much of anything. And there's the taunt off from Shen. Trundle coming up for the counter gank. The Ignite is down. A flash forced out from Malphite. It doesn't look like they're going to be able to get him. A chomp going down onto Nunu. Both of them going to get very low, but neither of them managing to go down.
Well, that's more trouble for this blue team here, as Shen is going to get to continue to farm after the back of that. Trundle's going to have the advantage over Nunu more than likely in the next minute or so. And unless the blue team can make something happen in this top lane, Shen is going to be so much trouble across this map. He's going to turn into a split push powerhouse, and he's going to continue pushing down that mid lane. While, hey, say if Caitlyn's taking a lot of damage down
at
bot
lane.
lane.
In the top lane, we are going to see the dive going on here at only level 4. First blood going out to Shen on to Nunu, who decided to stay and overextend there a bit.
And he sounds like he got out with no problem at all, picking up that first blood and getting out. Tell me, is he going B right now to have a bit of a buy, or is he going to stick around, farm, and maybe get some damage on the tower?
No, it looks like he just went back into his jungle. Shen is actually singed farming right now, so he's sitting behind that turret to go ahead and soak up some creeps.
Oh, fantastic. It's always a great but dangerous thing to do. If you've bullied around the jungler and they're dead and you're way ahead of your lane opponent, you get back there, you kill those minions, and your minions just push right up to the tower. They don't get any farm until you let them get some farm. And that's just scary that Shen's getting that far ahead right now.
Unfortunately, this Malphite is just about as blind as you are, as he gets pillared and taunted by a Trundle waiting in the bush, nommed upon, and is forced back. Again, no mana, so unfortunate for him.
Wow. Already forced back again. Malphite is not having a good day, and the Shen is going to start snowballing pretty soon here. How's mid lane looking?
Mid lane right now, we're sitting at 37 of 45 CS. Anivia picking up that Chalice and a Mana Crystal now. Meanwhile, Morgana sitting on double Doran's rings. And Anivia has hit 6, so that farming is going to become a lot easier. And something occurred to me. If you ever need to apply for a casting job, you can use this video and be like, yeah, I casted League of Legends blind.
Indeed. I am so good at this, I don't even need to know what I'm doing. So what is Anivia's build right now looking like?
Anivia's just got a Chalice right now. She's potentially going into a Roa with that Mana Crystal. We'll really have to see what happens in that. We did see a bit of action going on in the top lane with Shen tower diving onto Malphite yet again, but Malphite got the revenge kill on him with a well-placed Ignite and a tower shot, managed to clean him up.
Fantastic. I didn't even hear it say anyone died. Spectator mode, you are trolling me. So, Anivia with the Chalice and probably Rod of Ages is a good item for her to build into. A great way to build Anivia is to just have all the mana and manage regen you can and just go for tankiness. Maybe a little bit of Spell Pen through Sorcerer's Shoes, but the big thing there is the tankier and sustainier you are, the longer you stay in fights. Froggen was a big fan of building multiple Rod of Ages and Warmogs and things like that.
And Trundle and the Flash Stun coming in, but a nice Arcane Shift will go ahead and get Azrael out of that. A failed gank on the part of Trundle, as he's not even going to manage to burn a Flash.
Well, it's a bit of a pity for Trundle to waste his time down there, but hey, just even putting the pressure on, getting that psychological advantage down in the bot lane. How are the farm between the two AD carries looking?
Well, Azrael is getting bullied around a bit right now. It's 56 to 61 farm, and here we go in the mid lane. Morgana using her ultimate. She is going to get the stun off on Anivia, who's going to be forced to flash out. That Dark Binding is going to miss, and now Trundle just going to go ahead and back off here. Anivia not having any mana. She's likely going to return to base.
Morgana is a difficult matchup for Anivia, at least early on. Anivia is fairly slow moving. It's difficult for her to dodge Dark Bindings and the ultimate from Morgana. And her main advantage in pushing out lanes extremely quickly using her ultimate to farm that up is kind of countered by Morgana's W.
And Nunu overextending a bit here. The flash coming out on the part of Trundle will manage to secure that kill. The taunt coming out from Shen, looking to potentially pick up Morgana, but a Dark Binding coming out. And with Malphite's ulti down, that will not be any more kills for either team. Nunu tried to get very aggressive there in counter jungling, so he went ahead and nommed upon a minion, but it wasn't enough. He went ahead and was forced out of there as Trundle used his ultimate and just bullied him around. And in the bot lane, we do have Dragon going down almost. They're working on it right now to Nami and Caitlyn.
Amusingly, I was just about to ask about the ward coverage on Dragon because it's getting to the point in the game where people should be taking that Dragon. If Nami and Caitlyn pick that up, that's a wonderful boon for the red team, and it's going to help Shen even further to have an advantage over Malphite up top. Morgana, of course, is, as I was saying before, having a strength period against Anivia, at least until Anivia gets to the tanky and sustain point. Red team's gotten the Dragon, there we go.
Nami almost died to Dragon.
But the important thing is it sounds like the blue team did not realize it was going on or did not bring the people to engage it. So Nami almost dying to Dragon, not really a problem. As long as she got out of there, no problem.
Yeah,
they pick up a Dragon and everyone's happy.
Morgana, she will manage to bring Anivia down to her egg form, but a nice ace in the hole from this Caitlyn will go ahead and pick her up. She immediately ulted and managed to take out Nami from that fight, but unfortunately she just cannot 3v1.
Well, yeah, that is indeed the case. It is difficult for most champions in the game to 3v1 at this point. There are a few who can occasionally pull it off, but you generally have to be a little bit fed, and there haven't been nearly enough kills in this match for that to be the case. So, good move by whomever picked up that.
And the Empire coming out from Nunu, followed up by a snowball. And Anivia will manage to go down as the auto attack actually goes through the wall.
Wow, okay. The auto attack, very nicely done there for the kill. It's so very shocking to actually see, really, Anivia get taken down so easily. She's very, very good at providing the kind of sustain. And it sounds like there's a bit of a fight going on right now.
Yeah, it looks like Trundle is going to be forced to defend this tower in mid lane. He's sitting here wailing out with the auto attacks, using his pillar to disrupt, but it's not enough, and the Dark Binding going down from Morgana, and there is the Shen ulti as he tries to catch out this Nunu. Unfortunately, Trundle not close enough, and of course, having expended that flash earlier, he's not going to get the easy opportunity to flash, but Nami is here to try and follow up. The Dark Binding going down onto Trundle, but it looks like Nami's going to be forced to leave him alone. Oh my goodness, no! He's just a couple auto attacks away from death. Unfortunately, Morgana hurts so much, and Nami's going to go down for getting overzealous trying to pick up Nunu.
Oh my. Well, this is a great
and the
thing.
Janna Tornado coming out, Ezreal coming in with the flash over that Caitlyn trap, and now the exhaust is down, trying to deny him vision in that brush, but Ezreal's going to go ahead and pick up this kill anyways.
Well, Ezreal getting a kill is a wonderful thing for the blue team to end up happening. He's blue, right?
Yes.
Okay. And this is extraordinarily difficult to do. But seeing that that's the case, the blue team has been doing a good job of starting to force these objectives here. Sure, they lost the Dragon to the red team, and Malphite had a lot of trouble up top, but holy cow, they pushed up that turret. They seem to be working together as a team very nicely. And that's really going to pay off. If their team fighting continues to be a strength of theirs, they'll really take away in this mid game and start pushing the game strongly in their favor. What are the gold totals looking at right now?
We're seeing 17.5k gold versus nearly just about 17k gold, so not the biggest difference in the world, but blue team's certainly coming ahead. And since you're blind casting right now, I can go ahead and ask you questions like this. What do you think Ezreal's building into right now?
Well, if I had any guess, he would be building towards that little fist thing that slows people, and I can't remember the name.
Slows people. Foxy. Oh, Frozen Gauntlet, sweetie. Frozen
Thank
Gauntlet.
you. I keep wanting to call it Frozen Fist for whatever reason,
I do
but
too, because it used to be that. And it looks like down in the bot lane we see some aggression, that headshot going off, followed by an excellent stun from Nami, but unfortunately that ace in the hole isn't going to miss, and that Piltover Peacemaker is not going to be able to connect. And to answer the question, this is actually a plat game that's going on right now. The exhaust going down onto Nunu, so he tries to get that ultimate off, and it's going to do quite a bit of damage to this poor Caitlyn, who is about to get snowballed, and when she does, she will go down. There it is, Ezreal coming out with the ultimate and actually managing to score that kill. Iceborne Gauntlet, yeah, there it is.
You know, snowballs are a big weakness of Caitlyn's, both slowing her already reduced attack speed and movement speed. And it sounds like there's a lot of action going on.
Yeah, in the top lane, we saw the Morgana ult go down, as well as the Malphite ultimate trying to pick up this Shen, who may, in fact, get away here. Oh, there is a taunt that's going to go off. He's going to get very low, and I don't think Morgana's going to be able to catch up to him with a Dark Binding, and if it is, it's going to be very close. He's going to juke into this brush, immediately get behind his minions, and there we go. Morgana forced to back off.
Well, that's good escape on the part of Shen. Morgana may have been a little greedy to try and pursue Shen like that. Shen's a very elusive target, given the dash that he has and the shield, all his tools available to him. He's very difficult to lock down
and here comes
kill.
Anivia, the stun coming out, and there we go. There is the combo with that ultimate. A nice Dark Binding on the part of Morgana will go ahead and keep her alive. That Ignite not being soaked up through that, but still a nice job on Morgana's part to try and save her from that last bit of damage.
At this point, has Anivia finished off her Rod of Ages yet?
Anivia has not finished off her Rod of Ages yet. She's got that Catalyst right now and is sitting on that Blasting Wand, but outside of that, she doesn't really have too much in her inventory, just the Chalice and a nice, actually, couple of wards and potions for her.
Well, that's always good. There's an old rule that Freak follows when he goes mid lane, and it's a great rule of the thumb for anyone who plays a mid champion, is every time you go back, pick yourself up 2 potions, 2 wards, and bring those back to lane with you. It's not a huge investment. You're looking at about 200 gold every time you go B, but hey, it keeps you alive a lot longer and puts you in a good situation for the team fights like this that are happening.
I like how you know that action's going on and then you just stop talking. The top lane, we actually have Shen and Malphite having a bit of a trade, while down in the bottom lane, a nice stun coming out from Nami. She's been very consistent with these, though. The problem with Nami right now is that she's just very squishy. Despite the fact that she has some decent armor scaling, she's just a very squishy support down in the bot lane, kind of in the same vein that Sona is, and Malphite just not doing well with this last hitting on her turret. And here we go, here's Morgana, that Dark Binding coming out, and there we go, there's the ultimate. Oh, and the Ezreal ulti coming out as well. So much to take this Morgana, who got a little bit overzealous. Meanwhile, in the top lane, it looks like Malphite actually going to try an ultimate Trundle for some reason, and he is going to die.
Oh my. There are times when a Malphite ultimate can be game-changing and turn the time to the fight, and there's a time where a Malphite ultimate is just absolutely ridiculous, and you just hear his death moan a moment later, and that's exactly what happened in that case.
And a nice stun coming out from Nami, that Janna Tornado knocking her up, but it looks like Nunu's going to go ahead and get it anyways. That true damage coming out from Consume, coupled with the smite, is just too much for these two people to deal with. And Foxy, we got some questions in chat, so why don't you go ahead and recap what we're doing here today while we've got a lull in the action.
For those of you who aren't aware, I had LASIK earlier today, so I'm not allowed to look at computer screens such like that. But we decided, hey, it'll be fun if we have Filibuster Fox do some blind casting here. So that's what we're doing, and there's a little action going on, so let's hear what's going on.
Yeah, not much. It's just Malphite trying to come up here right now and defend his turret, which he was able to do, but Trundle and Shen easily able to disengage right now. We've got some what the fucks coming out from the chat. People very confused, but yeah, he's pretty much going off of game sound right now and whatever I'm telling him for the match, so it's very amusing. And you're right, we do see Ezreal building into what you were talking about earlier. It's known as the blue build right now, and it's becoming more and more popular on Ezreal. It was originally started to become mainstream over in Korea, and now it's dominating the NA servers.
Has he picked up the Elder Lizard?
Yes, he has.
Perfect. Good job, Ezreal. Way to build into the meta. And, I have to share one thing about the beginning of this match where I was really confused, is because my camera was not on directed camera. When I wasn't hearing any of the fight game sounds, I was over my screen was all the way at the bottom right of the map, unable to see anything at all except occasionally hear a trap go off in the bot lane. So I went ahead and put it back on directed camera before, and that certainly helps a lot with me knowing what's going on. It sounds like Malphite's doing a little bit of ground pounding there.
Yeah, but meanwhile, down in the bot lane, we do have this poor Nunu coming up, and there's the exhaust down on Caitlyn, that spell shield going down, so that trap isn't going to do much of anything, and a nice Dark Binding coming out. Ezreal able to follow up and manage to snipe that kill with a Q.
It was a killing spree for Ezreal. Fantastic. Always nice for an AD carry to start getting fed. This Ezreal Janna bot lane really starting to come into their own here as Ezreal gets further ahead as he's got his build boards up. When he's got that Frozen Gauntlet, It's a very, very scary thing to try to escape for an Ezreal. Lots of poke ability, and he just slows you down, so you just keep taking damage. You can't escape. You've either got to go in and he's just going to kite you back, or you've got to try and get out of there, but you really need some help if you're trying to 1v1 an Ezreal with Blizzard.
Going down. There we go. There's the Dark Binding. It will manage to hit onto Shen. Nunu coming up with that ultimate. It's going to get interrupted by that pillar, and now Morgana essentially trying to kite out, but Nami and Anivia are here to respond, and Nunu is going to go down. The ultimate from this Morgana going to go out. She will manage to pick up Shen, but a nice stun coming out from Nami. The shutdown bonus going to Anivia as Malphite ults in, and now is in a world of pain because that was not the best thing to do. That Crystallize going out from Anivia, that wall of ice is up, and now Malphite just running around, not sure what to do here, and he will end up following. Another stun coming out from Anivia forces Ezreal to go ahead and flash, but a nice barrier will go ahead and save him from quite a bit of damage. He's going to end up falling anyways, though, as Trundle gets low from the tower.
Well, Morgana did a great job of waiting till about the middle of that fight, not bursting her ult too early. She got in there after the fight had already engaged a little, ulted, and then used her Zhonya's to try and stay in there and do as much damage as possible. Now, unfortunately, I'm not terribly sure how that ended up working out for her, how many targets she ended up hitting with the stun at the end of the ult. The downside of using Zhonya's as Morgana to follow up with your ult is if they can just walk away, well, you can't follow them. Generally, you want to only use Zhonya's if absolutely necessary with Morgana's ultimate.
Yeah, unfortunately it was necessary in that fight. She was enclosed by enemies, so she did get a quick kill pickup on that. Not bad at all, and I am being informed that apparently this is not the blue Ezreal build. The blue Ezreal build includes a Manamune? Yeah, it's apparently a tier build. But now we have Shen trying to invade into the enemy jungle. Morgana and Janna, as well as Nunu, here to respond. And there's a Dark Binding, but he is just going to taunt out of it, and the Mad Ping's going down to back off.
Manamune I see as a fairly optional item to build into an Ezreal. It certainly has its ups, and it certainly has its downs. You can go for a lot more bursty damage with items aside from Manamune. If you've got the kind of mana regen sustain that you need to continue to fight without having to build into that tier into Manamune, you're fine to go. It's not a bad item in any case, but it's certainly an option whether or not you want to go with it.
Yeah, we see a little bit of action happening in the top lane, mostly just Shen bullying around Malphite. Now, Malphite has managed to get back into the game a bit. He's only down about 15 farm right now, and he is at least on an even level with the Shen, but the taunt goes out from Shen, a little bit of damage coming out from that Vorpal Blade, and Shen just going to go ahead and return to farming.
Now, has Malphite built into Randuin's or Frozen Heart?
Malphite is building into, he's got a Giant's Belt and some armor. He's actually looking to build into a Sunfire Cape right now. Yep, there's the buy for that, as well as a Chalice and armor boots and a Philo Stone.
Chalice is a bit of an interesting choice there. I can see him having some trouble with the mana early on, but he should really look into getting a Randuin's Omen, I would say, would probably be the best choice for him.
Shen going to go ahead and get caught out here. Nice movement by Nunu to go ahead and cut off his escape route. The taunt will go down as Trundle enters the fight. And there's the pillar to go ahead and disrupt these guys as Malphite begins to chase down the Shen. And there's the ultimate coming out from Malphite. Shen forced to flash over here. And ooh, Malphite flashing over the wall. That is going to be too late for him, and now it looks like Nunu is actually going to get caught out as Anivia comes up after he gets the kill on Shen, and Anivia will manage to take down Nunu.
Now, I haven't been able to see their team fight synergy so much, but what I would love to see out of the Trundle and Anivia combination is for them to just block off an entire lane with their two walls.
Here's the tower dive going down on Morgana. She will pop Zhonya's to try and keep them there as long as possible, but she will end up following. Trundle picking up that kill, a totally unnecessary ultimate coming out from Nami.
Well, you know, Nami has a really awesome tidal wave that's a very fun animation to watch. I'd rather see it cast than not cast, but unfortunately I wasn't able to see it, so I do feel like Nami completely wasted her ultimate.
I'm really surprised at how good you're doing with this, considering the fact that you can't see.
Well, you know, it's really just a matter of not getting too deep into specifics. But as we see another turret, I say the term we see relatively liberally, but as another turret goes down, what are our turret totals for these teams?
It's 2-4 right now in the favor of the red team, and 10 kills to 12 again in the favor of the red team. They've got a bit of a gold advantage here and are starting to gain map control. More importantly, though, they're sitting at Dragon right now. They're going to go ahead and do it while this Trundle tries to disrupt the enemy team, not wanting Nunu to get anywhere close. And there we go. That is the Dragon for the red team. Now we see the engagement, the wall going out from Anivia. A nice disruption onto the Nunu ultimate. Malphite totally caught out here. No real big surprise. Morgana looking for an opportunity to get her ultimate off, and there we go. That is off, but she will get taken out before it ends by this Shen. Because, I mean, unfortunately, her Zanya's wasn't up. It was just a bad deal on her part. A nice Janna ult coming out maybe a bit too late is going to go ahead and disrupt the enemy team and help her to get away.
The Morgana ultimate does great damage both initially as well as the final where you manage to land the stun. Even if the stun doesn't go off, sometimes it's worth losing that Morgana to get the damage on all nearby targets. Not sure how many she hit, but it can easily turn the tide of a fight even if Morgana doesn't have that Zhonya's available. Unfortunately, it sounds like it didn't work out for her team that well in the fight. What were the final kill totals on there?
It was 1-0 at the end of that fight, and Nami forced to blow an ultimate as she tries to steal Wraith, and then has to heal herself as she backs on out of that. Now, at some point during the end of the game here, I'm totally going to get you to do a play-by-play section of this, just because I think it'll be hilarious.
All right. So Nami tried to steal the Wraiths with her ultimate, or she was stealing the Wraiths and got caught and had to ulti to get
No,
away?
she got caught out by Janna and had to ulti away. And we see that Ezreal ult going down to the bot lanes. Go ahead and get some of those minions cleared out. Caitlyn taking her red buff while Shen and Anivia push a bit in mid lane.
I would like to see Nami's use their ultimate to try to steal Baron and Dragon like Lux and Ezreal use theirs. I think that would be hilarious.
That would be very funny, and chat is begging you to blind play-by-play at some point during this match, so we're definitely going to do that, don't worry guys.
I hate you guys.
You love him, don't lie. Oh man, but we got Anivia doing what Anivia does, pushing down this mid lane. The nice thing about going up against Morgana is that Morgana is basically able to do the same thing. Now in the top lane, Malphite's trying to catch out Shen, who's got 1 level on him now, and he's just going and smacking around the CS. I don't know why he was trying to be so sneaky when he's trying to catch out Shen in this. And there's the taunt coming out from Shen, and now Malphite running away like a little sissy there with that Vorpal blade on him.
Well, Malphite has proven himself to be a little sissy throughout this entire match because he's just fallen behind Shen so early on when he should have had the upper hand in that situation, using his passive shield, sort of let him trade with Shen all the time and just avoid his taunts. A lot of
Yeah, we got Nunu coming up now, and the Ignite down onto Shen. Shen desperately trying to get away right now. And there we go, there's the ultimate, but the interrupt from Malphite, the first good thing he has done this game. That ultimate managed to keep Shen from teleporting away. But now Trundle is here. Trundle doesn't even know Malphite is in the brush, and Malphite manages to be out of there, and Trundle is left weeping in the bush.
Poor sad troll gotten trolled by the bush bee. I mean, I cannot believe that it's so close for them to be so near and not actually check the bush in time.
And in the bot lane, there's the Zanya's, followed up by the Hourglass, and Anivia gonna go ahead and use that wall, try and get away. The stun will miss on her. Morgana just waiting for her cooldowns to come up. That binding will miss, and there's the flash coming out, and the ace in the hole actually coming out from Caitlyn, and we saw the tornado coming out from Janna to try and hit Anivia, but it's not enough, and now Anivia trying to trap her in. Janna going for auto attacks, but it's not enough. Oh, and Anivia gets away with a sliver of health.
Oh my. So, Caitlyn, has she built into her Infinity Edge yet? And Last Whisper?
Caitlyn actually does have an IE right now. She's only sitting on a longsword, double Dorans, and a Vamp Scepter, as well as her boots too. So she's got a lot of items in her inventory. It'll be interesting to see where she ends up going with that longsword at this point.
Well, I don't imagine she'd go into a Black Cleaver, but that sounds a little like what she's looking at. That'd be a bit bizarre there, I think. But Black Cleaver is not normally an item you'd see on a Caitlyn. Miss Fortune, sure, in most tanky AD sort of characters, but Caitlyn, I'm not so sure on that. Maybe if you build up a lot of attack speed to make up for it, and to make up for the fact that they reduced her base attack speed, but her attack speed actually, since the new changes, goes faster than it used to. Sure, it starts out slower and helps prevent her early advantage there, but later in the game she's still going to keep her long range and have a faster attack speed than she did before. I could see Black Cleaver being not a bad purchase to cut through the armor on people like Malphite specifically.
And the ping's going down. I mean, yeah, Last Whisper is also an option for her beyond that, but we see a bit of a skirmish breaking out. Anivia actually blocking everybody off with that wall as Shen and Trundle tried to get the gank on Malphite in top lane, and now the entirety of both teams are here to respond. Now, the nice thing about Twin Shadows is that is going to give them vision to the closest targets, and ooh, Malphite nearly getting, there's Morgana ult followed up by Malphite's, an excellent play that will go ahead and bring Anivia to her egg, take out Caitlyn and Nami instantly, and there we go, the shutdown bonus down onto Anivia. Trundle trying to get that damage down onto Morgana. Shen taunting away from Malphite, and he'll manage to escape from this fight. Trundle as well, a 3-for-0 exchange on the part of the blue team.
Well, it sounds like Morgana got a good ultimate in there, hit at least 3 people, I'd say, initially. I don't know if anyone ended up getting stunned by that, but that had to be a major factor in that team fight for the blue team.
Everybody ended up getting stunned. Malphite followed up with his ultimate immediately. Everybody in a very tight corner at that tri-brush in the top lane, so nobody was really able to get away from that. The combination of CC made it very difficult for them, and even some flashes were blown to try and get over the wall, but it just wasn't enough.
That's one very strong strength we're going to see repeated in this Blue Fight's team fight, is the amount of crowd control and area effect crowd control they have. They've got Janna with the Tornado and her ultimate. They've got Nunu with his ultimate. They've got Morgana with her Dark Binding and her ultimate. They've got Malphite with, of course, his Unstoppable Force ultimate. I mean, just so much crowd control. And then they'll have Ezreal like, hey, I'm in the back just pewing, and I'm going to get all the kills because your team can't do anything about it.
All the pew-pew-pewing. Speaking of Ezreal, he's actually gone into that Iceborne Gauntlet, as well as the Blade of the Ruined King on top of that Lizard Tail right now. So he's sitting pretty at 4-1-3 with 253 CS at 30 minutes into the game.
I'm a little questionable about the option for Blade of the Ruined King for Ezreal. I mean, it's certainly not a bad choice, but with the amount of casting he does, I see it being less effective.
And Ezreal getting caught out here. He's going to have to Arcane Shift away, and here's Nunu coming in with the ultimate. It is going to be interrupted by Nami. Nami's stun going down, catching out Nunu, and we have Trundle going back in with his ultimate, and there's Caitlyn's ultimate, that ace in the hole, managing to clip Morgana.
Wow, that was quite a team fight, wasn't it? Beautiful to watch.
Oh, poor Foxy!
So, as I was saying with Ezreal, the Blade of the Ruined King, a very interesting choice. I mean, passive, it only procs on auto attacks, right?
That would be correct.
Okay, so with the amount of casting he does, which gives the benefit to the Frozen Gauntlet and things like that, Blade of the Ruined King I see as less effective a choice, unless you're looking for that active just to do that extra bit of burst, then a Bloodthirster would be, in my opinion. The Bloodthirster is going to give a little more solid, flat AD that will help out with his casting abilities as well as his auto attack and sustain. Blade of the Ruined King, not much different a choice at this point. A little more attack speed, a little less AD, and but I really just see the Blade of the Ruined King being less of a solid choice than perhaps the Bloodthirster or even something like an Infinity Edge.
Yeah, that would probably be more beneficial to him right now. I can see a lot of other items being more useful. He is actually going into a tier of the Goddess, so we see this build coming out on him right now, but it's 32 minutes in the game and he picked up a tier. It is 32 minutes in the game and he picked up a tier.
Ezreal can build up a tier really quickly, along with like Needly and a few others who can really just spam it up very quickly, but that's a really late in the game to pick up a tier. Much like the rule of thumb, you want your Rod of Ages or your tier before the 20-minute mark, the 25-minute mark at the latest generally, because you'll get the most effect out of it in the game. Building a tier this late is just like, oh, maybe he's following a guide somewhere that says, hey, you should build a tier in a Manamune. I really disagree with that choice to build that this late in the game.
Yeah, we see the Morgana binding going out. It's not actually going to hit anybody. Blue team trying to force a fight under turret and go ahead and pick something up. And there we go, the Nami stun going out and the Trundle pillar as well as that wall coming out from Anivia. And everybody's just going to go ahead and back off here.
Would you look at that? Everyone's going to back off none for none from a nice chance at an engage there. Just not enough follow through by either team. Plenty of harass coming from Ezreal and a few others trying to poke each other down a bit, but it's really not going to be enough at this point in the game. That Janna Tornado might do it enough with that Dark Bounding hit there. Or was it a minion that it hit?
It didn't hit anybody.
I thought I heard it hit. Oh, God.
Foxy. Oh my god, this is hilarious. Keep going, keep play-by-play. It's going on.
Okay, so Janna Tornado goes right in. Doesn't sound like it hit very much, but a little bit of harass coming in response to that. Ezreal once again continuing to poke with his Q and W whenever he can. And another Dark Binding sounds like it missed, but a trap is activated by Caitlyn. See a bit of noise going down as the teams continue to try to engage this team fight. Doesn't sound like anyone's really being taken down yet at this point, but you know, plenty of action. We hear Malphite throwing down his Q to try and get someone a little bit of damage and out of position from that slow, but it looks like both teams disengaged without a whole lot of problem there.
Yeah, and the ping's going down, and that was that was something to listen to. By the way, blind color totally works. Blind play-by-play, the worst idea you could ever have. I'm totally gonna make you do one more team fight when it breaks out in a full 5v5, okay?
Okay.
Oh man, and we got some pings going down. It looks like it's a 3v4 right now, and here we go. Go into it, Foxy.
Let's go Malphite ultimate in, and trying to hear over the sound of my own voice is very difficult, but it sounds like plenty of action is going down. We've got a lot of harass. That Janna Tornado, an excellent hit there, and it's going to be forcing a couple of flashes as they try to pick up any kills there, and not hearing any death noises yet, but oh, there goes the hit from the Dark Binding, and another Tornado down from Janna, and more double kill for the blue team of some people that I have no idea who got the double kill or who they killed, but it's an excellent job on the blue team, and it's going to give them an opportunity to push off the back of this. Janna's trying to catch up whoever's trying to run away from the red team at this point, but oh, it sounds like they got an engage going once again here, and oh, there goes the ultimate from Morgana there. Doesn't sound like it actually stunned anyone.
Oh my god, Foxy! Oh my god, Foxy. I'm sorry, I'm crying here a little bit. That was so funny. And Ezreal coming up, he's gonna manage to burn Anivia into her egg form. I like how it was very amusing. You're like, double kill for the blue team, and I'm sitting here watching the red team pick it up. It was great. That was so spot on. I'm really impressed with everything you were able to do with that play-by-play casting. So now we have.
I don't know if you're being sarcastic or not.
Oh man, now everybody's just backing off, collecting some jungle buffs. We have actually seen the blue team get in here with a couple of favorable engagements. Ezreal looking to invade the enemy blue buff. It'll be interesting to see who picks this up. It is going to be Morgana, and Anivia caught out, and there we go. There's a Morgana ultimate, and over the wall,
nice.
It will manage to take her out.
Yeah, that was a beautiful ultimate for Morgana. Managed to hit the stun. Fantastically done. Did she pick up the kill with that, or was it picked up right afterwards?
She managed to pick up that kill.
Very nice. I love me some Morgana. Used to play her all the time, and it sounds like there's another engage going.
Yeah, Nami is actually going to get caught out here. The slow going down. She will counter. She will kind of try and dismiss this engagement with her ultimate followed up by a stun. It is actually not going to hit, but they will go ahead and just take the turret instead of the dive.
Well, turrets are definitely worth more than a dive in almost any situation, unless that dive is going to result in an ace, in which case you can push up multiple turrets. You want to get those objectives down. How are we looking at towers at this point?
It is 4-5 at this point. The blue team has really come back in a bit of map control right now. They've got a lot of wards out, both pink and blue, trying to gain as much vision in their jungle as they possibly can, as well as their own jungle, making sure to get pinks in some popular spots where they may look to engage from.
I need inhibitors towers down from either team, or is it all outer and inner?
Hang on a second, somebody asking me what I'm doing.
All right, for For those, like in text.
Yeah,
Anyways,
okay.
for those of you who may be joining the stream late, my name is Filibuster Fox, casting with Lunette the Herald, and I am blind today. I just had LASIK today. I'm not allowed to look at the computer, so I am blind casting as best as I can, which is not terribly good, but we'll go with it.
Oh, your play-by-play is spot on, though, man. I'm really impressed with what you're able to do. Now we got Ezreal doing a little bit of kiting onto this Shen. He will be forced to go ahead and bring out his shield to deal with that damage. And then, once again, Trundle getting caught out in that as well. So a bit of damage going down onto him, catching him out with that Iceborne Gauntlet, going, hey, you need to go ahead and back the hell away from our buffs.
Definitely wanting to secure the buffs is an excellent thing. Map objectives are so important at any point in the game. Caitlyn's build, she's finished her Infinity Edge, no doubt. Has she built into that Black Cleaver, or?
No, she went ahead and built that longsword into the Last Whisper as originally expected by both yourself and I, and now it is 16 to 17 at 39 minutes into the game, 58,000 gold to nearly 58,000 gold, so only a couple hundred gold difference at this point. This Baron really helped out the blue team and helped keep them in the game.
Yes, Baron, an excellent thing to take, especially when the casters are completely unaware of it.
Yeah.
So when did they get the Baron?
Oh my god, they got Baron a while ago. Baron actually is respawned. It's been so long.
Well, it sounds like there's a fight going on, so where is this fight?
Yeah, there's actually not too much going on. Just a lot of pings going down and a lot of people using abilities to go ahead and clear out those minion waves. This frantic pinging really isn't for anything. It's just to alert people that they have vision on individuals. Now, Nami actually getting caught out here and the Janna tornado going down. Nami will be forced to flash out of here. Janna coming in with the oracles, trying to deny vision as she takes out these wards around the Baron buff. This is where we're going to see the next big fight happen.
No doubt. One of these teams either wants to force the other team back towards their base and get them on the defensive by pressuring a tower or picking off a kill. It sounds like Malphite's going right in.
Engagement. Nunu's going to get caught out here and be forced to flash. That spell shield going down on him, but just not going to take in any damage.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like that's enough to really allow a Baron fight for either team here. But one of them's either going to try to bait a fight here or try and take it if they can clear the wards for long enough.
Yeah, this is definitely going to give the red team the advantage to either push or take Baron, mostly because of the fact that Nunu is going to be forced to back. He doesn't have enough health to really stay here, and that's going to be a Consume and a Smite that can't go for the red team. So you see the blue team right now, they're going to go ahead and clear out as much as they can in the mid lane, and Nunu being forced to come over to Baron with just half health, and the red team setting up for this. And here goes the engagement, the Dark Binding going out, Shen coming in with the taunt, and go Foxy for the plays.
Well, yeah, okay, so everyone stopped. There's the unstoppable force from Malphite coming right in. A lot of action going down right now as the teams engage as well as they can. Nice hit by a Dark Binding there, and the ultimate goes down for Morgana, I believe. And no, Zanya's going off to follow that up. A lot of action happening. Lots of poke, but it doesn't sound like a whole lot of really dominating leads to either team in this fight.
Yeah, no lead for anybody.
Now there's a shutdown on one of the players from another one of the players, and that's going to give them a nice chunk of gold there, somewhere between 200 and 500 gold bonus into their pocket.
Oh man, this is actually a 2-for-0 exchange in the favor of the blue team that they're going to be able to Baron off of. Malphite getting down very low, but focusing the tanks never really works out well. So unfortunate for the red team. This is really going to give the blue team a chance to really close this game out.
Well, it looks like they're going to have an opportunity to push here, but instead they're all going to go B. They may be pushing out maybe their bot lane if it's pushed up. That's usually what's going to be the case if you're doing a Baron buff. They're going to have to push out that bot lane just a little bit, but they're going to really have to take the opportunity here, now that they've got the Baron buff, to move as a team and really push down one of the opposing lanes and pick up an inhibitor if they can. They really need to force this. If they just sit back, farm, take their jungle buffs, take stuff like that, they're wasting their time and they're wasting their Baron. They have to get aggressive here, and they have to make things happen.
Yeah, we can see right now Caitlyn trying to push this mid lane as best she can. They really have to push out these lanes and try and essentially stall for time. This is what Anivia is great at. She's known as a great turtle champion. She's just going to go ahead and clear out the waves at their towers if they go ahead and get pushed back and try and wait out this Baron buff. So Foxy, I have to ask, what are the item builds looking like right now?
Well, if I had to venture a guess, I'd say Ezreal's probably picked up a last whisper by now. Caitlyn, uh, she's probably building towards another bit of lifesteal there with the Vampiric Scepter, but I'm waiting to see if she's going to go for the Blade of the Ruined King to deal with the tankiness on the opposing team, or if she's just going to go right into a Bloodthirster to increase her base ratios. I would say Shen's built up plenty of health, maybe a Runic Bulwark and a Sunfire Cape. Anivia probably has her Rod of Ages finished, and maybe she's either gone for the Rabadon's Death Cap or maybe an Abyssal Scepter.
I'm really surprised how spot on you were with a lot of this stuff. With Spell Shield coming out from Morgana, followed by the Dark Binding. Anivia managing to get in here with some damage, but Malphite coming in with that ultimate. Shen will come out with a taunt, and Nami's disengage of an ultimate, and there we go. There's the ultimate from Morgana, followed by that ultimate, or Zhonya's rather, and Trundle coming in, overextending just a bit too much, and he will go ahead and get taken down by Malphite. And now Nunu coming up here is going to take a large chunk of damage from Anivia. That stun from Nami managing to hit, and nobody picking up kills on all these low health champions right now. Caitlyn actually getting very low from that pool that Morgana is able to use.
Well, fortunately, with the red team having gotten low from that fight and having John available for the blue team to tornado behind them, well, they can usually disengage just fine, but it sounds like someone ended up getting killed there.
Yeah, Morgana managed to snipe Caitlyn at that point, so yet another engagement that ended up in the favor of the blue team. They're utilizing this Baron buff quite well at this point, and despite the fact that you can't see, I'm really jealous of how well you're able to cast. This just isn't fair. You're like, oh, I'm going to go ahead and talk about the item builds, and I'm going to go ahead and be spot on with everything. It's not a problem. The only thing you can't do is play-by-play. So I can be happy. At least I have one thing I'm good at.
Well, tried you doing that blindfolded too. But Morgana seems to be really doing a great job at getting her team through these fights. It seems like without the early strength of Morgana and her presence in these team fights constantly, the blue team would have a lot worse time. In fact, I can think of few mid laners who would be really doing better for their team in this situation. She's gotten picked off a few times, but she's definitely probably leading her team in kills. And probably up there in assists as well, just how often she's in the middle of these fights, doing exactly what Morgana should be doing. Just getting in there with a bit of tankiness and a lot of damage, locking down the enemy team, and just trying to stay alive through the fights with her Zhonyas.
Exactly. We can see that Morgana is at 8 and 5 right now. The farm difference between Morgana and Anivia is astounding, though. Anivia having that 70 lead on her, though Anivia, once she hits level 6, is just pretty much known as a farm champion. That's all she does. Morgana in the top lane going to go ahead and use that binding, get a nice chunk of damage down on Shen. It is about 46 minutes into the game, so we're starting to see a point where, I mean, really everybody is getting towards their full item build. Everybody is going to go ahead and start getting some damage down, and we see Trundle coming up. Spell immunity is a good thing right now, and Morgana trying to flash over into the helping hands of her team. Now Malphite getting down very low, and he will get taken out by this Anivia. This is a bad situation for the blue team. We can see right now, there we go, there's the taunt in, Empire going down. It will manage to take out a nice chunk of Shen's health. Meanwhile, Nunu being forced to flash out, and here we go, the Consume going down, but Morgana managing to snipe out Anivia, and now we can see the Shen ultimate going down onto Trundle. He's going to go ahead and put him a little bit too close to the fight. He's going to get down very low, and that will be the end of him as Janna manages to take that kill. And now it's the red team who's on the run, as luckily those consumes from Nunu are keeping him well within the fight. They're actually going to go ahead and take a tower here.
Well, losing Malphite early in that fight is a scary thing, but as their tank, he should... If he's the first one to die, that means the blue team is probably going to win their fight based on the focus order. You don't want to focus down the tank first. Once Malphite uses ultimate, he's just there for a bit of slowing and a bit of annoyance. Really, the rest of the team, especially this Morgana and the Ezreal, are the big threats. Ezreal's probably leading the game in farm at this point. He's had a bit of an advantage on Caitlyn, I believe, throughout the majority of this match. Of course, Shen's probably got tons of farm as well, because that's Shen for you. He does nothing but split push until there's a team fight to be had. And sounds like 2 turrets now taken down by the blue team.
That would be correct. They managed to get that second tier tower in the bot lane, so they went ahead and picked that up, and they counter jungled the enemy's blue buff over there, giving that to Ezreal, giving him the ability to go ahead and spam more. And that tier built up, he's already upgraded that, so that is sitting at its full item right now. And, you know, just doing very well. It actually looks like he's going to go ahead and pick up the red buff as well. So, as you stated, Shen building very tanky right now. Anivia going for that Void Staff, Liandry's, and Deathcat build on top of her Chalice and Roas. So she's looking fairly tanky right now, as well as having a lot of burn, crowd control, and a lot of magic penetration coming out from her.
Magic penetration is key on Anivia. Her ratios aren't actually all that strong. You're better off building tankiness and magic penetration, things like Liandry's Void Staff, Sorcerer's Shoes, to go with Rod of Ages, Rylai's, you know, Warmogs even was a very popular item on Anivia, and for good reason. Now, did they manage to pick up the mid inhibitor on the red team?
They did manage to pick up the inhibitor in the mid lane for the blue team, so that is the red team. They're going to have to deal with those super minions, and the blue team is gathered around Baron. They know it's up soon. It's going to be interesting to see if they can actually defend this. They have the timers on it, and the red team isn't even looking to move out of their base, and it looks like the blue team is going to go ahead and pick this up for free. With an inhibitor down and now getting this Baron buff after taking 2 towers, they are just sitting pretty on a nice 10k gold advantage, and more so than that, they're just going to group as 5 and go ahead and try and pressure some team fights. And it looks like Nami's actually caught out here, and Ezreal going in. Nami gonna try and use her ultimate, but it's just not enough. A stun going out far too late, and she's going to end up falling to that Ezreal. The ping's going down for that top lane base turret as Morgana and Malphite looking to go ahead and push here with the help of Ezreal. Janna looking to go ahead and just protect her team right now, as unfortunately they've taken a bit of damage from Anivia and a nice wall going down here. There goes the knock-up from Janna, but Trundle just not taking any damage. He's far too tanky for them to really deal with. They need to go ahead and concentrate on getting that poke onto somebody else.
Yes. Now, one important rule of the thumb when it comes to taking...
And there's Morgana. She's actually going to flash ulti in, as Zhonya's has yet to go out, and Malphite going to go ahead and dive past the tower, and there we go, that tower is down, but the Ignite, a nice Janna shield will go ahead and save Malphite at this point. Trundle getting down very low, Shen nearly down as well, and Malphite just barely dying there. And we have Ezreal coming in, and there we go, the red buff will go ahead and take out Trundle, and there's the nice Dark Binding coming out, the shutdown bonus going to Anivia on the part of Ezreal. You could see the nice knockback coming out from Janna right into that ultimate from Nunu. That Absolute Zero going to do a nice chunk of damage, but the triple kill will go to Anivia, and that will be an ace on the part of the red team. Now, unfortunately, every inhibitor is open now. The only turrets they have are at their nexus.
Well, that is a wonderful ace on the part of the blue team. Sounds like on the part of the red team, blue team had some issues coming out after that Baron buff. When you go to take Baron, you want to push bot lane before you take it, so that that far lane is pressured while you're doing it, and that gives that opportunity for that tower to go down. For after when you take the Baron buff, you move up to top lane, you take down that tower and inhibitor. Bot lane will be pushing itself, especially if your mid inhibitor is down. So you've got that pressuring the minions, preventing them from stopping the bot lane from pushing. However, if you have to take down any inhibitor, bot lane is absolutely the priority. It sets up future Barons very, very nicely. But having all those towers down means as soon as the blue team gets back, red team's not really going to be able to push out here. They're going to have to defend against the minions for quite some time. Blue team will respawn. They'll be able to mass up and force the fight on their terms, either taking one of the remaining inhibitors, or actually the middle inhibitor shouldn't be too far from respawning, so they're going to have to push at some point here. There you go. There's the red team inhibitor respawning soon. And if they don't get into the base and force it.
Managed to catch everybody out there. Zhonya's coming from her, and no, it won't actually land on anybody. The flash coming out from Malphite to try and catch out Anivia, but that is unfortunately not going to work. And Nami nearly getting caught out here by Ezreal. Looks like he's going to pursue, and there's the ultimate coming out from Malphite through the wall. We'll go ahead and catch him out. Meanwhile, Nami has managed to evade Ezreal for long enough. The problem with that last team fight is that they went ahead and went in and dove past that tier 2 that base turret rather, to go straight for the team, and everybody was divided on whether or not they should go for tower damage or inhibitor or team damage rather. And now we can see one turret or inhibitor rather has been taken on the part of the blue team, and here goes the second, and it looks like they may just look to close the game out here.
Well, that would be definitely the right move. If they've got the advantage here, they've got the kills that allow them to do this. They need to take advantage of it now before the respawns happen. It sounds like they're really close to it.
Yeah, and there we go.
And
There's the Nunu ultimate, and that will be the game as Jan ulties to go ahead and save her team. Ladies and gentlemen, 53 minutes in the game, 26 to 23. That was quite the bit of a cast for the fact that you were able to do that blind. So, so tell me, Foxy, what was your experience here today like?
Well, I really enjoyed hearing Morgana's ultimate turn these team fights. I have to give her an MVP for the blue team. She was really key throughout this entire game. For the red team, I would like to say, hey, Caitlyn did a great job, but unfortunately, she didn't carry her team as hard as Ezreal ended up doing. Ezreal, fantastic in these fights. Now, he did amazingly. He had a full build towards the end there. Was just doing great, but I mean, Morgana was really just the key in these fights. For the blue team, Shen had a great advantage early, but I mean, it just didn't do enough to change the game, and that's what ended up costing them. There was so much team fight capability from the red team with their mass area effect crowd control that it was just very hard to win any sort of team fight against that comp. Now, my personal experience is casting this. Play-by-play is ridiculous because I either have to turn the volume on so I can't hear myself talk, or I can't hear what's going on over the sound of my own voice. So it's, when I was listening to you, I could kind of tell what was going on. I could hear the Morgana ultimates and the dark bindings and everything just fine. Those, for some reason, those really stand out as sound effects in these team fights. The Shen taunt is another particular one, and of course, Unstoppable Force from Malphite, very, very noticeable. And of course, Ezreal Qs and ultimates, very easy to tell. But for the most part, those Morgana spells really stand out from a sound perspective, I'm noticing.
Well, all things that are good to know. Foxy, how about you do an outro for us really quick as we go ahead and close out this one and only blind cast that will probably ever be done.
So everyone, I would like to personally thank you for watching. It's been a lot of fun. My name is Phil Buster Fox. I had LASIK surgery today, so I'm not allowed to look at my computer screen or really do anything like that at the risk of damaging my eyes further while they're trying to heal. So I did this blind with the help of Lunette the Herald, who did a great job play-by-play casting for me. I could usually tell what was going on thanks to her abilities, and that certainly helped me out a whole lot. But it's been a pleasure to bring this to you. I don't see myself having LASIK surgery anytime in the near future, so you probably won't see this happen again. So if you managed to see this live, congratulations, you caught a rare show. But we appreciate your viewership and look forward to